I've done a geologic timeline on paper of the 22 feet that we have life forms to judge when things happened. And for me to better understand where things are and what happened during those times, so I can put things on here as I learn them, and gives me a better idea of what happened when. So for today's video, here we have 285 million years ago in the late Oligocene, and we have the Zyanti Fault activates. And somewhere in the Miocene, early Miocene, most of the Zyanti motion ends with the activation of the San Andreas Fault. There's not hard times on these, so and then the last motion that they know of the Zyanti was 11,000 years ago. And you can see, here's modern man. So 11,000 years ago was still, humans were here in California. The Native Americans were here. Surely somebody felt that earthquake. The ice ages had gotten over by a couple of thousand years. And yeah, exciting stuff. Hello folks, I'm here on Bear Creek Road to show you the Zyanti Fault, and let's get right to it. The Zyanti Fault goes from here to here. The Zyanti Fault started in the Oligocene, and most of its major motion ended in the Miocene. On the right hand side is the Vaqueros Sandstone. The Vaqueros Sandstone was laid down about between 23.5 and 28 million years ago. And on the west side is the Butano Sandstone, which was laid down between 48 to 33 million years ago during the Eocene. So after this car goes by, we'll go over and take a look. You can see this is just really soft, all crushed up. We'll go up here to the east side where we can get a look at the Vaqueros. Now look at that. I would say this is a more coarse grain. So the papers that I'm reading telling me that this sandstone was laid down as the Selenian block moved northward. Selenian block, I'll do a video on that. Came out of Southern California area. Okay, and this is the Butano sandstone. The Butano sandstone and the Vaqueros, I'm just amazed at how thick they are. So on initial view, this looks much the same, but the grains are finer. They've been able to date this stuff by the little one-celled Formifera, I don't know what it is. One-celled animals that lived in certain times and at certain depths. So the Butano sandstone was laid down in deeper water. The Vaqueros Sandstone was laid down in shallower water. I don't know what this is across the street here. This looks like it's harder than the Vaqueros. Finer grain. So this has got to be the Butano also. I'm going to go up into the neighborhood and we'll look at some more evidence of the fault. Talk to you up there. Well, I made my way to pretty much the top of the road before there's private property, and I came upon this little outcrop. You can see the pebbles inside it. So according to geology, if a rock is inside of a matrix, then it's older than the matrix. What else am I told about these rocks is that they're rounded. That means that they've been in water and been rounded. I see another one over here. This looks like it might be a granitic rock. Lots of quartz. This is on the edge of the road, so I don't want to beat it up with my rock pick. There does seem to be quite a bit of fracturing here. Some calcite. But what I wanted to show you was further down this hillside, although I suspect maybe right here that the fault splits.
As we come down here, you can see where the deer have been going up. This is blockier. It's also larger size sand crystals than the Butano. And I can see another pebble in it right there. But you can see that it's got some fractures in it. Vertical fracture there, which to me tells me that this is pretty close to the fault line. I wish I knew enough about identifying between the different types of sandstones better. So the Vaqueros, and today's word is transgressive. The Vaqueros Sandstone was deposited during a transgressive time frame. Where either the land was going down or the water was coming up, so it was shallowing, and in certain places in the county all these sediment layers are thinner in subsections and thicker in others. See if I can get up to here. Yeah, look at this. There's a layer right there. So this has been stood up on its end. These concretions. Down here, this low spot, this is where I believe the main thrust of the Zyanti Fault is going right now. When you look on the LiDAR maps, when you see the geology here, the depression, it's more worn away from erosion because it's unconsolidated. That makes me think that this is all Zyanti Fault. As I transition down the hill, you can see that the sandstone becomes blocky again with more fractures. I don't know if you can see this stuff or not. What does that AEAF lock mean? This is much finer, much more like the Butano. Okay, got one more place to show you. So I've walked up to this site, and you can see that it's pretty convoluted, and the left hand side has dropped or the right hand side has risen up. So I'm going to go up here. You can see the calcite streaks through it, and I couldn't tell you why some go some ways and some go others. When you start to get up here, you can, let's see, it's not easy getting up here. You can see there's more pebbles in this harder layer, and like these little things are some type of concretion. I don't know what made them. You see this edge is dropped here. I think that's fireweed. This whole section here has me wondering how and when it was made. But I'm going to shut the camera off and take you over to there. I'm a little higher up on the hillside, and you can see this one layer going right to left, left to right, and how it has been faulted and pushed up. This flower here, by the way, is coyote mint. Very pungent. I hear you can make tea out of it. So there's all kinds of minor faulting in here, which again gives evidence of being close to a active fault, which from what I understand is no longer active. The fault drops down roughly 6 to 7 kilometers from what tomography shows, and it's possible that some of the lower portion of the fault moved during the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. Whew, it's hot today, around 80 degrees, and I'm feeling it. Okay, I'll be back in a second. I stopped here on West Park, and you can see the drop off here caused by the Zyanti Fault. There's a sandstone cliff over there, very friable. So I'm here on Highway 236, where the Zyanti Fault goes underneath this bridge. This bridge is very narrow, very dangerous. I think I'm going to make a quick dash. Cars go by pretty fast, but it's still dangerous. See if we can get a look down. That's the Zyanti Fault right down there. Can't really see much on the other side. You can see sandstone over here, and I'm getting off the bridge. Gotta get a picture of this. Wow, this is spectacular. And here we are, just about a click and a half farther down the road, and here's Boulder Creek and the Zyanti Fault. Here at the parking lot for the Boulder Creek golf course. Well, hope you enjoyed this little excursion.
It's a couple of days later, and I wanted to add some information. This is the Santa Cruz County Geological Office website, and if you go to their website and you click on the accept button, it will give you a map of Santa Cruz. You can go up here to select any number of base maps. I like to select the terrain map, which is the LiDAR. And you can see the Zyanti Fault. Let's see, can you see my cursor? You can see the Zyanti Fault running right through here. Right in here is where the little canyon is. Bear Creek Road runs right through here. You can zoom in, and I mean, you can get down to the nitty-gritty with this stuff. Here's Bear Creek Road. Here's right here is where the fault is visible. You can see it just going up through here. Up in here is where I looked at the depression and stuff. You zoom out again, and you can follow the whole 82 kilometers of this right slip fault all the way down to the end of Santa Cruz County. So one thing that's interesting about the fault is that, as I said, it's a right slip, but it's a compressional fault, which means it's getting smaller, shorter, I should say, mainly because whatever's going on up here with the San Andreas Fault and the bend that it makes is causing this Zyanti Fault to stop also, and for the eastern side to raise up. So I'm going to end the video here, and I hope that you've enjoyed and learned something more about Santa Cruz County and its geology.